Hey everyone, Luis here, and I just wanted to do a quick super secret giveaway of this game on the PC. If you want to win it, I'll have a link to it in the description down below. I just wanted to say this right before the video started because I don't want to put anything in the title that says giveaway, because I want this to be exclusively for the people that just already want to watch my videos. Alright, now let's get on to the review. Wandersong is quite possibly the most wholesome feels-good game I've played this year. Through its absolutely emotion-packed story that features a broad scope of characters, Wandersong easily became a personal favorite game of mine. Imagine all the charm of classic Paper Mario writing in a brand new gameplay take. That's Wandersong. Wandersong has you playing as a young barb who sets off on a journey to save the universe. A cosmic being is threatening to reset life as you know it. That apocalyptic event alongside the overly peppy charm of the barb makes this game feel like a video game version of the Lego movie. The writing and general dialogue for the story is some of the closest I've ever felt to classic Paper Mario games on the N64 and the GameCube. There's delight and charm sprinkled throughout each conversation with the NPCs. Whether I was speaking to an old cranky grandmother or an edgy teen witch, the barb just couldn't help but lighten the mood. The cast of characters you interact with throughout your journey offer a wide variety of personalities that made each one of them feel memorable. I think part of their charm came from the fact that despite there not being any voice dialogue, you can still sort of associate a made-up voice of your own to each of the characters. Different characters will have different fonts for their dialogue that give you a rough guess on how that character would speak in real life, emphasizing certain words over others. It was a fantastic stylistic choice that further gave each of the characters some added quirks. Now, although Wandersong does primarily stay in a happy mood, it's not afraid to deviate from that path. Even when Wandersong decided to tackle heavier subjects or more emotional subjects, it found a way to bring out the light at the end of the tunnel. It often at times made me feel both sadness and happiness. It's in that same sense where you go back and watch an old cartoon you used to watch as a kid and are shocked to find just how deep some of the writing can get now that you're an adult. Wandersong's campaign will have you smiling, laughing, tearing up, and contemplating. Sometimes it'll throw these emotions at you all at once, but above it all, it'll make you feel glad that you decided to play the game. As the barb, your main ability throughout the game is singing, and boy is it mighty powerful. It's presented in a round dial design that resembles the look of a Simon Says game. Using the right analog stick, you can control the direction or the pitch of the barb's voice that plays in a number of different gameplay elements. For example, there's vines that act like platforms throughout the game. These vines react to the pitch of the barb's voice, letting you control their direction. Most often you'll be presented with scenarios where you have to repeat back a song to either solve a puzzle or interact with an NPC in a game of what's essentially Simon Says. Gameplay does tend to rely on the mechanic pretty often, but finds interesting ways to try to solve and evolve the puzzles. For example, early on in the game your voice gets granted the power to control the wind, allowing you to traverse wide open spaces. Despite still being primarily that Simon Says style voice system, the way it's used evolves over time with every new act. Now, even though there's a handful of puzzles scattered throughout the story's many acts, I never really felt challenged by them. Wandersong itself is very forgiving in the case of mistakes. If you misplay a song, it'll let you retry right away, while falling off a platform respawns you pretty close by. It's because of that you may feel like Wandersong can be a bit too easy if you're looking for a bit more depth and challenge in the puzzles. Personally, I thought it was okay though, because ultimately Wandersong felt like it was more story driven than gameplay driven. I love the use of singing in the game, but really it's the game's writing, quirky characters, and just feel good nature that had me eager to keep on playing. Sure, the singing is a vital mechanic of the gameplay that's pretty much woven into the story. However, it's really things like the interactions with characters, a new person joining my party, or just seeing what the barb had to say next that had me excited to play. The conversations with characters were actually a mechanic all on their own. Most often than not, if you keep on speaking to an NPC despite already having your first conversation with them, you'll hear a lot more details, whether it's more background details to an earlier conversation or just something completely new. I honestly spent so much time talking to NPCs over and over again just because I wanted to see what they had to say. As you make your way through the campaign, you'll be traveling across the world in search for the pieces of the Earth Song. You'll also come across many new friends that'll aid you on your journey. From people trying to start a band, a girl just trying to reconnect a lost bond, to a guy who believes he's too cool to really do anything. These are just some of the friends you make on your journey that help solidify this game as truly iconic. Wandersong reminds me a lot of Sony's first-party exclusive Tearaway. They both have this paper-like aesthetic to them that looks like a kindergartner's arts and crafts came to life. It contributes to the joyous feelings that Wandersong evokes with its overly peppy Barb at the center stage. Seeing how the environment like flowers and animals all react to the sound of his voice is just so heartwarming. The simple design of the world helps to further reiterate those feelings, as I really felt like I was inside a children's scrapbook. There's also a lot of neat touches with that art style that this game adopts. For example, there's multiple layers of the foreground and background that blur and come into focus depending on where the Barb is. That design helps make the primarily flat design of everything still feel like a deeper world that you can explore. My only nitpick with it really is that some of the blur can get some artifacting on the Nintendo Switch version that I was playing for review. Other than that, the game looked marvelous. Playing on my TV and on the go with the Nintendo Switch, Wandersong's charm easily transitions between the two with ease. If anything, it got people to stare at me on the bus because of how much I was smiling the whole time I was playing. Being a game that's main mechanic is singing, of course you can imagine that Wandersong does a good job to uphold the music in this game. The background music for the different worlds always had this pleasant vibe to it that made just walking around the world a cheerful time. Even just playing random notes as the Barb, the game found a way to not make it sound like I was just rigorously moving the right analog stick. This was actually the first game I got to play with the new soundbar I got for my TV setup, and it couldn't have been a better game to break it in. I'm sure my neighbors were wondering why I was blasting bubbly, lighthearted music at 1 in the morning, but that doesn't matter to me. I was having a blast. Now, not directly attached to the sound, but part of it in some sort of way, is the HD Rumble implementation on the Switch. You have the option to change it between normal, light, and just completely off in the settings. I played with it set to normal and found that its subtle use when opening doors or just trying to immediately stop while running was swell. The rumble didn't overstay its welcome with every little action getting some sort of feedback, but was instead small enough for me to appreciate the times it actually was used. Wandersong is quite easily a contender for my favorite indie game of the year, so that should immediately tell you how much I love this game. I was enamored by the amount of times it had me smiling with its gripping characters and absorbing story. The idea of using singing instead of traditional fighting mechanics for an adventure game like this was truly unique. However, it wasn't just how unique the idea was that captivated me, it was how well it was implemented to both the story and the gameplay that just had me with the stupidest looking grin across my face the whole time. The presentation outside of the artifacting and some scenes looked incredible, along with the radiant music playing in the background. Wandersong is simply a game that you shouldn't miss out on. It's a game that turns the worst frown upside down. For all these reasons and more, I give Wandersong a 9.5 out of 10. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share the video with your friends. It helps more people find out about my videos, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you all very much for watching, hope you guys have a great day, and keep on gaming.